Hello, drafting students. Today we're going to talk about what happens when a half circle is intersected by a cylinder and what happens at those intersection points. Here's what the final result will look like, and I'm going to walk you step by step through it. We have orthographic projection happening, and we also have an intersection happening. We're using 18-inch by 12-inch paper with a border and a title box in the corner there. I'm using AutoCAD, but you will be creating this by hand. So first, what I can do is I can draw a half circle. This will be 6 inches. Oops. Then from the top of the circle, and put a center line and move it down 2 inches. Please reference your drawing, the picture I give you. There's going to be a cylinder, which is 6.5 inches by 1 3/4 of an inch. And let me make both of these onto the 0 layer. I'm going to center this on this, and it's also going to make sure it's centered in the middle of that half circle. Just like such. Now what you could do is erase this part and this part. You want to make sure this is centered nice, the center line. We can do this. Nice and even. Great. These are old projection lines. Let me erase those fast. Now, people always ask me, how do you get the 45 line to project or an orthographic projection? It really can work with multiple points, but usually I say the lowest point of the object. So the lowest point is right at the bottom of the circle here. Now, how far away you go doesn't make a difference. You know, you just got to be considerate of leaving enough drawing space to create it. Luckily, by AutoCAD, I can always move stuff, but by hand, you want to figure this out before the fact, and maybe sometimes draw a quick sketch on sketch paper just to get a rough idea that you have enough room. So again, you go from the lowest point of the object, and then basically you can create the point going down wherever you like, and at that intersection is a 45-degree line. So come from the highest point here. When I hit the 45 line, I can drop down straight. And let me just clean that up fast. And also from the cylinder, right here and here. You can actually also project the center line if that helps you. And there's the center line. Drop these all down from the 45-degree line, like such. So now I want to create a circle, because this looks like a cylinder on the side, or actually, I'm sorry, it just really just, I know it's a cylinder, but it might just look like a box on the side or a square. But it's actually a circle, and the circle has to fit within inside those spaces right there. Where it goes, up or down, doesn't make a great difference. I just kind of guessed right there, no particular spot. But once I do establish that, I'm going to want to know where the center of this object is. So I can perfectly center this 4 inches. So once I know where the middle is, I can copy this line 2 inches down and 2 inches up for a total of 4 inches. And that's going to create this box here, which, yes, appears to be a box, but guess what? It's the side of this half circle. Project over from this, project over from this, from the quadrants of the circle. You can make this a center line if you like. So we all know that what that's going on right there. We also want to project down from here, All the blues are the projection lines. The black will be the dark pencil lines, and the red center lines. A lot going on already, huh? All right. So let me trace off my object here. If you start off with this, you're in great shape already. Why don't we show the center of this circle right here again? Great. Let me put the dimension so everybody knows where we're at. This will be inch and 3/4. This length, 6.5 inches. This height, 4 inches. And this is 6 inches. Because this is a 3-inch radius, which becomes 6 inches long. This line at the top here, right? Right. This line up here is also 6 inches. So this line represents this. What we want to do is take this arc right here, and actually we just need half of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another color and make an arc. Start, center, start, end. So here's my center point. It's my start point, and there's my end point. So you didn't see much happening, but there's a new arc right there. I will isolate it so you only see that. Now I want to divide it up into 15 equal parts. What are those 15 equal parts? They are actually six degrees away from each other. I don't know why that's finding me so much, but that's what they are. All right, so you divide it up into equal parts. I'll bring everybody else back. There they are. I know why they were fighting me, because I had them isolated. Okay. I'll take the dimensions off so you can see a little bit cleaner. There's the dark lines. We divided 1/2 of the circle up into 15 equal parts. At this point, what we want to do is project lines. I need the 45 line. So again, I'll show you how you make a 45 line. You go from the lowest point to this object and the first point to this object. Where those cross right there, that's where you make the 45 line. So let me just start it there and rotate it up 45 degrees. So at that intersection, you have a 45-degree line. So if I project over, once I hit that 45 line, I go down. This one missed the circle, which I knew was going to happen. I just wanted to show you that's going to miss the circle. So that's really no help for us. Let's try the next one. Get to the middle of the circle, hit that 45 line, drop it down. This also goes right past the circle, so that's no help. So I did this before, and I know the third one does it. Or I hope it does. There you go. It hit the circle. So where it hits the circle, it comes back this way. You go back to the original circle or point that you divided the circle up into, and it meets up. I'm going to help you out. I know this is getting confusing already, so I'm going to clean this up right here. I should actually use a different color. So what I'm going to use is this orangey color. Isolate these two. I'll turn the center lines even off for a second, just to try to keep it as simple as possible so people understand what's going on here. I can actually get rid of these if that's confusing. Really, so far, what I did was started from one of these points, hit that 45 line, drop down, hit the circle, where it bounced off the circle, it met back up with its original friend to create this box. So let me repeat that process with the next one. Go to the next point, hit the 45 line, drop down, hit the circle, go towards the left, drop down from the original point, and let's make that a nice clean box. Next point, hit the 45 line, drop down, hit the circle, go towards the left, come back from the original point. I'm going a little fast there. I'll go slower for this one. Pick from the original, right in the middle of the, not the original, yeah, well, from the division point. Go hit that 45 line. When you hit that 45 line, start to drop down. Go into the circle, where it hits the side of the circle, go towards the left. Now, then you drop back down from where you started from to create a box. Clean it up so it looks nice. So you can see it's forming a bunch of boxes here. Let me draw that last color a different color, so maybe that will be clearer too. Let's go blue for a second. So you can see it starts there, hits the 45 line, hits the circle, and this drops down and meets back with its original point. There's only so many of them that will work. And you're going to say, well, how do I know when it doesn't work? You'll know because it's not hitting the circle. This is really the last one. It kind of just hits right before the quadrant. There's the quadrant. It's right before it. You know, it's hard to be that accurate by hand. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying it's difficult. Computer is a little bit more, well, definitely a lot more accurate. Not to say it's better, but it's more accurate. All right. So you're really just going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I broke it up into 15 parts, which came out to 6 degrees. So you can use your compass here to project the 6 degrees and break it up, or put your protractor and project the points, or use your dividers. However, actually the more points the merrier, so it's up to you how many points you want. But I would say that's a good number. So what we're going to do now is through the magic of AutoCAD, because what you could do is the same process. If you were to go from here, go through the circle at the bottom, and I'll do that fast with a different color. So the other process would be to go from here, hit that 45 line, then it's going to where it crosses all the way to the top already, but now to the bottom, and again come back to its original point. So what you're going to be doing is actually creating intersections down here as well, but you're really replicating the same one, mirrored off the center. So instead of me going through that whole process in this video, what I'm going to do is just take these objects and mirror them through the magic of AutoCAD. So what did I do now? All I really did was create a bunch of points for me to use a spline. That's a tool in AutoCAD to create an arc. Drawing it by hand, you would use a French curve. Or that tool that we call Gumby. And you're going to get an object that looks like that. Let me color that solid. So you could see that using a French curve or some kind of tool to come through and hit all those points, you're going to create that arc shape. So at this juncture, what I can do is extend that line and that line over to it. So that's what it looks like when the cylinder interacts with this. To do the other side, again, through the magic of AutoCAD, I'm just going to mirror it. But for yourself, you're going to have to project the points. Just like we did here. You would divide half of the circle up into points. Or actually, you have the points already. You come and you bounce off the circle and bring them back and meet the original. Yeah, you actually have to divide this up equal points to bring them across, hit the 45, hit the circle, bring them back and meet up with the original point again. I don't mind seeing all these yellow lines. They'll be black on your paper if you're drafting it by hand. I don't mind seeing them all. I would just keep them light to keep the drawing clear. Always want to make the objects the darkest. But to make it clear to you right now, I'm going to strip it down to show you basically what we did. We had this half circle with a cylinder coming through the side. So this is the side view, which this is the side of the half circle, and this is the cylinder coming through it. And then this is this interaction right here. You can see that's where it happens, where this, how it would look when the cylinder is entering into that half circle. All right. No, it's a little tricky, but please do your best and send me any questions. Keep on drafting.